Hi friends, in last lecture we learned about basic operational concepts, means how the data is transferred between the memory and the processor. Okay, in today lecture we are going to learn about bus structure. So far we have discussed the functional units of individual parts of a computer to form an operational system. These parts must be connected in some organizational way. Okay, so all these parts are going to be connected in some organizational way. To achieve a reasonable speed of operation of a computer must be organized so that all its units can be handled one full word of data at a given time. When a word of data is transferred between these units, all its bits are transferred in parallel. So suppose if we want to transfer the data between two registers, we have to transfer all the bits in parallel between those two devices. So these bits are transmitted simultaneously over many wires or lines. So one bit per line we can transfer. So in order to transfer the data between two devices, we have to use lines. So that data is transferred in parallel form. So here first we have to know what is bus. So bus is nothing but a group of lines that serves as a connecting path for several devices is called a bus. So by using these bus, we can transfer the data in parallel form from one device to other device, means from processor to memory or in between two devices. So if for transferring the data between two devices, we are using a bus. So bus is nothing but a group of lines that serves as a connecting path, means these lines act as a connecting path between several devices. So in this we are having three types of buses. Those are data bus, address bus and control bus. So the first one is data bus. So by using this data bus, we can transfer the data from one device to another device. So by using data bus, we can transfer only data. So data bus carry, here data means bits. It carry data from one device to another device. Not only between the devices, in between the registers. So in order to transfer the data, here data means bits. In order to transmit the data from one device to another device, we are using the data bus. For the data bus, bus width is equal to number of bits in a bus. Suppose if we are transmitting 4 bits through a bus from one device to other device, just we are transmitting 4 bits of data. In this case, the bus width is equal to 4. If we are transferring 5 bits, means the bus width is equal to 5. So for data bus, the bus width is equal to number of bits in a bus. Number of bits in a bus. Okay, next the second type is address bus. Second one is address bus. So by using data bus, what we are transferring? Data between two devices. By using address bus, we will transfer the location of memory between two devices. So by using data bus, transferring the data. By using address bus, we can transfer the address of a memory location. Hence, so address bus is a collection of wires used identify particularly location particular location in the memory. Means address bus holds the address of memory. So address bus is nothing but a collection of wires which are used to identify a particular location in the memory. And by using this address bus, means address bus holds the address of the memory, or it transfers the address from one device to other devices. So for address bus, the bus width is maximum memory capacity of system. So for address bus, the bus width is nothing but the maximum memory capacity of the system. In case of data bus, the bus width is the number of bits transferred in that bus. Okay. Next, third type is control bus. So control bus regulates the activity on the buses. It regulates the operations on the data bus and address bus. It regulates the activity on bus. Now we will see about single bus structure. So here all units means input, output, memory and processor. All these units are going to be connected to a single bus. So single bus. So here the input device transfers the data by using data bus, and output device also transfers the data by using data bus, and memory and processor transfers the data by using data bus, and they may transfer the addresses by using address bus, and the control bus regulates the activity on these two buses. Okay. So because of the bus can be used for only one transfer at a time. So by using these bus, only one functional unit can transfer the data at a time. So at a time only one functional unit only transfer the data. So all these devices not work parallel. So all these devices can't transfer the data at a time. At a time only one device only use this bus, and by using this bus only one device can transfer the data. So the main advantage of these single bus structure is its low cost. Main advantage of single bus structure is low cost and it is flexible. Flexibility for acting peripheral devices. These two are the main advantages of single bus structure. So systems not only contains these single bus structures, they may also contains multiple buses. If we are using multiple buses means they achieve more concurrency in operations, means multiple operations can be performed parallelly by allowing two or more transfers to be carried out at the same time. It means it increases the performance, but the cost is increased. This is the drawback. So by using multiple buses, in case of multiple bus structure, the main advantage is it increases the performance. How the performance is increased? The number of operations are going to be performed parallelly. If the operations or if the data transferring performed parallelly means the speed of the system increases. Speed increases means automatically the performance of the system will get increases. But the drawback is, the disadvantage of multiple bus structure is, so including with performance, cost will also gets increased compared with single bus structure. And next, the devices which are connected to a bus, they may vary in their speeds. So means each and every device has its own speed. All these functional units may not be work with same speed. So suppose consider some electronic devices such as keyboard and printer, means input and output device. So keyboard is input device and printer is the output device. So comparing keyboard and printer are relatively slower than compared to memory and processor. So comparing with memory and processor, the keyboard and printers works with less speed, and here the memory and processor are work with faster than compared to the keyboard and printer. So because of all these devices must be communicate with each other over a bus. An efficient transfer mechanism that is not considered by the slow devices, and that can be used to smooth out the difference in timing among processor, memory and external devices is necessary. So a common approach is to handle a buffer registers with these devices to hold the information during transfers. So in order to make all the devices with same speed, we are using a common approach, that is we are using a buffer registers along with these registers. So these registers hold the information during the transfer of data. So for example, we consider the transfer of a character from processor to a printer. The processor first sends the characters to printer buffer register. So first the processor sends the characters to printer buffer register over a bus. Once the buffer is loaded, then only the printer starts printing without further interruption by the processor. So okay, so first the data has to be transferred from processor to the printer buffer. So once the data is completely transferred to the printer buffer, then only the printer starts printing the data without further intervention by the processor. So the bus and processor are no longer needed and can be released for further activity. So once the data from processor is transferred to the printer buffer, then the processor is released for that operation, and during this time the processor can be used for other operation. Okay, so the printer continues printing the character in its buffer and it is not available for further transfer units until this process is completed. So thus buffer registers smooth out timing differences among processor, memory and IO devices. Okay, so by using these buffer registers we are increasing the performance of the system. So first the data from processor has to be transferred to the printer buffer register. Once the data is completely stored in the printer buffer register, then only the printer starts printing the data. So during that time the processor is released and it can be used for next operation. Means here we are again performing the parallel operations, means the performance of the system will get increases. Okay, so this is the bus structure. So mainly we are using three types of buses: data bus, address bus, control bus. So the data bus will transfers the data from one device to other device, whose bus width is the number of bits in a bus. Okay, suppose if we are transferring 6 bits by using data bus, means its bus width is 6. Okay, next one is address bus. It transfers the address of a memory between two devices. Its width is, so the maximum memory capacity of the system. Next, control bus. By using control bus we will control the address bus and data bus. Okay, so compared to single bus structure and multiple bus structures, so by using single bus structure the cost is small compared to multiple, but and also it is a very flexible operation. So but by using multiple buses we will perform multiple operations at a time, so the performance gets increased. So along with performance, cost will also gets increases. So next, in order to increase the performance in case of multiple bus structures, we are using the buffer registers in order to increase the speed of the system. So this is the bus structure. Okay,